So y'all don't think it's crazy that Kamala showed up to Chicago with a literal Planned Parenthood bus? If that's not a walk-in altar, I don't know what is. And the thing that gets me every time is the fact that every time it comes down to the Democratic vote, it's always some BS. We never get real answers. We never get real explanations. We never get a real master plan. We don't get anything but what they think appeals to black people. And y'all fall for it every time. Having a Planned Parenthood abortion bus outside of a supposed speech for Kamala and the Democratic Party is absolutely demonic. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but what I am telling you is that this election is probably one of the most important elections that we've had in a few decades. Y'all need to start doing y'all research, and also y'all need to take the scales off of your eyes, because that is absolutely malicious. That is absolutely demonic, and it's an agenda. I heard that it was about 3 women to 1 man every 10 minutes of a ratio coming through the bus. The fact that you didn't need a physical, you didn't need a checkup, they barely looked at you, they barely knew you. The fact that you had that access that easily, that is truly like that. The Democratic Party thinks that black people are a joke. And notice that they had it in almost the hood. Like, come on now. I hate to be that person, but can we please wake up? If y'all don't do anything this election, please get out there and vote. Period. I told y'all it's the end times, and the devil's not hiding anymore. So why should we? I'm not about to sit around here and play Christian cookie cutter because I'm making somebody from the enemy side mad. I don't care. We in the end times, because there's no reason that should be out there. So as y'all vote, please, y'all vote, okay? But also put your trust in the Lord, because He is the ultimate ruler of this world. As always, I love y'all, and so does Jesus. Mwah.
Okay, I'm gonna get real in this, and it's probably gonna piss some people off, but I'm okay with that, because if I'm not being honest, then what else am I doing? I just got back from the DNC where I signed up to volunteer, and when I initially had signed up to volunteer, Joe Biden was still the nominee. It wasn't yet Kamala Harris. I've worked in progressive politics for a long time. I have worked for many different Democratic candidates, Senate candidates, House candidates, even some Democratic organizations. And as the years have gone by, I found myself getting more and more disillusioned with the Democratic Party, although until now I've never said that out loud or anywhere public. And I just want to say that by saying this, I'm not necessarily saying that the other party is better. I'm just giving you my experience with working with the Democrats. Throughout my career, I've mostly done campaign fundraising, so I've seen it the way that it works behind the scenes. And I know that candidates spend 8, 9, 10 hours a day just calling donors and begging rich people for money. It's pretty much the only people that they talk to. I mean, of course, sometimes they have to talk to voters, but the majority of their time is just spent calling and begging rich people to give them money for their campaigns. And what this inevitably means is that we don't actually live in a democracy. It's just rich people calling the shots and having the access to talk to the politicians. They're the ones that basically get their ear all day. They're the ones that can help shape and prioritize what the politician actually focuses on. Even the politicians that detest this, that want to get big money out of politics, still have to play this game. They still have to make these calls. They still do the same amount of just calling rich people and begging them for money. And what unfortunately happens once they get into office, if they get into office, is that they soon realize that the money machine is so great and the seduction of power is so immense that they no longer adhere to these values. When I first got into politics, I thought that Democrats were the party of the people. And at the DNC this week, I felt like I was in a building with the most elite and out of touch people in the entire world. It very much felt like, let's just have a huge party and forget all of our problems because the vibes are brat. When I was there, I didn't feel any connection to real America or the place that I come from, which is the Midwest, Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri. I didn't feel any connection to the people that I know right now who are struggling to buy their groceries or to pay their rent. The people who want to know what both candidates are going to do to materially affect change in their lives. And when I was there listening to the speeches, I felt myself feeling mad because I didn't hear anything about the economy. Definitely not in Kamala's speech, and not very much in the others as well. Instead, I heard generic platitudes, things like joy and respect and integrity, and what does that even mean? Let's make the military the most lethal in the world? I thought I was part of the anti-war party. I thought I was part of the party that fought for the underdog, that championed working people. When and how did we just become the party of academia and affluence? Because that's what we are right now. How can we ever say that we're going to fight corporate power or give a voice back to those communities that have been left behind when above the delegates on the floor in levels and levels and rings of suites with donors and corporations that we're literally looking down on the people below from above? That's what Chris Cuomo said, and he's absolutely right. You know, I went to the DNC this year hoping that I would feel reconnected to the Democratic Party, that I would have more of a sense of understanding of Kamala and her candidacy and what she stood for. But instead, I ended up leaving and feeling the opposite, more disconnected and alone than ever. And I don't think I can support Kamala Harris for president. I don't even know if I can call myself a Democrat anymore. I don't know who I'm going to be supporting, but I know it's not her. And for once, I'm not afraid to say it.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Is that a position that you agree with?
We need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Say it loud. Say it clear. Everyone is welcome here.
Raise your hand if you think it should be a civil offense rather than a crime to cross a border.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
You support giving universal health care, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public health, period.
You support the Medicare for all bill. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. For people out there who like their insurance, well, they don't get to keep it.
Let's eliminate all of that.
Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation. As President of the United States, I am prepared to pass a Green New Deal.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes.
What is the solution for voters who have jobs and interests in the fossil fuel industry?
Transition into the jobs of the future.
But would you support changing the dietary guidelines? Reduce red meat specifically?
Yes, I would.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.